Oh.
Yeah, we're good. Right? Yeah. So, as I was saying, now what we are doing here, now my name is Darian Hamilton. Firstly, let me make sure the co-host will add everyone because I can't do both. Right? So my name is Darian Hamilton. I'm one of the team members, right? One of the founders of the community and of the project. We have a huge team, an amazing team of well-known artists in the Caribbean and actually outside of the Caribbean region as well. Some from Africa, some from Jamaica, right? And the team really, and as I said, we talking about unity, and a lot of people within the gospel music space, they express the fact that there are a lot of gaps that currently exist, where exposure is concerned, where capital is concerned, where resources is concerned, and even outside of music, even in other industries like sports. A lot of times we could tend to call on the government, or, we could blame the government for certain circumstances. But now it's actually being done. So that's why we tell people that this is actually in the interest of everyone involved in music and gospel music, because the power is now in our hands to build what we've been begging for the past 10 years and more, right? Later on, we'll hear from persons like Curtis Jordan, who's the president of COT, etc., and some other team members will come on, right? But I'll just start off by really getting into where we're headed, how this even got started, because a lot of people, they see it, they're excited, they see certain things being done, but you want to totally understand. And this is not a school. This is not Rural Lynch of Trinidad and Tobago. Okay, you're in from Samsung. Good night, Rural. Right? Right, so this is not a school, right? This is a community, right? A gospel music community. And what we have so far, even right there in that WhatsApp, trust me, that in itself is powerful. That in itself of having so many artists and creatives in gospel music across the Caribbean in one platform, engaging and speaking, that there is powerful, right? Because I've seen people ask questions about royalties. I've seen people ask questions about music distribution. And we actually have in there with us the person responsible for the music underscore of the both Black Panther movies, right? And his name is Keith, and they actually starting their own music distribution platform. So there are so many people even within the community right now that you even get to connect with, that you get to build relationships with. And trust me, one of the best things you could do as an artist or as a creative is network. That is especially in today's society, especially because music is technology is changing, the music and business is changing. So there are so many aspects that needs to be plugged, especially where mentorship is concerned, where funding is concerned, where facilities is concerned, right? Because we now want to create platforms that will amplify artists and give them great opportunities for success, right? Platforms that will help with quality, platforms that will help with excellence and training, right? And promotion and global exposure, right? So there are so many aspects, even a hub. Like I look at things like Maverick City. I'm sure you guys know Maverick City and how they got started, right? At a camp, they invited persons from all different parts of America, one community, and they started to create. We need to have our own hub and facility for artists, for songwriters, for creatives, right? We need to have an amphitheater here in the Caribbean strictly for gospel music, right? Sorry, just replying to some messages here, right? They're just giving people time to comment as well, right? Because I know people said they would have been able to come on like 7:45, 8 o'clock, right? Yeah. So, sorry, one sec. Sorry about that, guys. All right. So, yeah, so as we said, now we're glad that everyone is plugged in, and we want to encourage you guys, and later on you'll see the entire vision of where we're headed and the types of people that is now plugged into the community, because we have many artists, and producers and creatives internationally too that are going to be part of this community. Imagine you get to engage with some of your favorite artists. You get to get advice from some of your favorite artists. You get to be plugged in and connected with some of your favorite musicians and creatives in gospel music. So that's really what we want to start to get done. And I asked somebody in the group chat, I think it was 2 days ago, I asked, what if we had our own version of a soca monarch? Now, for those of you guys who are not from the Caribbean, the Soca Monarch is basically like a competition, right? Where artists perform, right? For first place, second place, third place. But there are many things that also needs to be done. And there are lots of infrastructures that could be implemented to now even give artists the opportunities to shine, that can now create talent discovery, right? There's so much that needs to be done in this space. So what we're doing, what we're building is the beginning of it all. We're creating something that will create the infrastructure and set a solid foundation. And that's why it's so important that everyone comes together. And the number one thing in this, guys, is community. People ask, who is behind this? Now, we'll answer all of that. But really and truly, community is what will advance this project. This is not who is in charge, who is making all the decisions. This is not one person having all the power and deciding who will get funding. It's not one person driving the project. Every single person has a say in what gets done. Every single person has a vote. And that's why this is extremely, extremely powerful, right? Like I myself, I'm connected. Sorry, guys, I'm just giving people opportunities, time to come in a little bit, right? Because I really don't want people to miss it. I know we have a recording, right? Like I myself, I'm connected to a community, and I have so many friends now in Japan, in Netherlands, in Canada, from being a part of that community in Discord. I've never seen them face to face, but I'm connected to them. Business relationships that I met online. And there's the power in community and networking. So we want to encourage you guys, to even connect with people, engage. Like you have a whole community that's now being built out for you to meet with people that can now even help you personally to get to the next level. We have teachers, right? We have producers. We have so many people within here, right? Especially that are international figures as well. Trust me, the people that you will now be able to network with is huge, guys. So understand the power of just the community itself, right? So what I'll do now, I think I'll probably get started, right? So I will go into the, let me make sure I get one. So when, all right, co-host could handle that for me, right? So I will, sorry, I got muted. Just gonna share the screen. Give me 1 sec, guys, 1 sec. All right, so we're good. All right, guys. So now for the past, now in June, you know how this all got started now. My name is Darian Hamilton, as I said, and the creators of this project are some of the, I would say some of the most popular artists in the Caribbean, right? And I myself am part of a company called Juice Spaces, and we are basically a Web3 project, right? So those of you guys who are not familiar with Web3, Web3 is basically a new form of technology. It's a new form of technology that basically unites communities, and it's basically about creating communities and adding value and giving communities power, right? It's focused around something called decentralization, which now takes the power away from one entity or one person and basically gives the power to the entire community. So for example, I'm a person, let's say I was a big CEO of a company and I decide, you know what, I will give, let's say, Ruel Lynch funding to get a Dove Award. But let's say there are other people in the community that thinks Rachel, has the talent and could get there. The community now has power, now has a say in the direction of the project and the direction of the company. So the reason why we went this way is because we decided that this is something that's gospel and focused around Jesus Christ. So it's not right for any person outside, that really doesn't have that passion for the gospel, passion for Christ, to be able to dictate the roadmap or the vision of the project. It should be centered around Christians. It should be centered around, the church and the body. So we have created a system that now gives the community the power. So that's why we want you guys to understand how powerful this is, right? So, we said that we started off with community, and what we're doing is now adding value to the community to now help the gospel space, the gospel industry. We're now providing the utility, the resources, the platforms to now help everyone get to the next level, right? So in December, we had, our launch in Woodbrook, which some persons on the call right now would have attended, and we really gave, the vision of where it is we're headed. And now we're really starting to kick things off, right? So, sorry guys, let me just go. Right. So I'll go along, and I really want you all to you all could probably get a pen and a paper if you guys want to record any information so that you don't forget, right? And let me start with the team. So myself, Darian Hamilton, another co-founder, his name is Pastor Kyle Joseph. I'm not sure if he's on. I know he has a session right now. Other co-founder, Pastor Kerwin Narayan, of Champion Dynamics International Ministry. So two pastors as the co-founders of the project. And let me focus on Brian Esposito a little bit, because Brian, and you guys could note it, and you guys could even, look at Brian on LinkedIn and Google and stuff. But Brian was voted top 10 CEO of America for 2020. Right? He actually couldn't make it tonight, unfortunately. But Brian is huge in the business world, particularly in North America as well, right? And Dubai as well, right? Brian was voted top 10 CEO. He has about 200 companies in his holdings, and he's close friends with a guy by the name of Andrew Frum. Now, Andrew Frum is responsible for the likes of Katy Perry, Marshmello, I think, as well, and a lot of other artists that are popular in America, but they really have dominated the music industry in the States, right? And we worked on other projects before, and we actually worked on a project together that raised hundreds of thousands of dollars in funding in less than a week, right? So we've seen the power of the Web3 community technology. And we actually had a church, an event at our church, and Fahrenheit came to perform. So when he came, we started to speak about, the gospel space, because I myself, play drums, keyboard, violin, guitar, right? And I do it as a hobby, but I have a lot of friends that are involved in music, right? Even some other members on the team like Crystal Gordon and Brandon are, part of the gospel space. And I see how much artists struggle. I see many people even move from the gospel space and they then even transfer to the secular world because they think that's the way that they have to go to make money, which is sad, right? So we saw that there are many gaps that exist, and we now have the power to be able to start plugging these gaps that will not 100% fix everything, but it will be the perfect start. Because as a musician, right, why practice every day to get extremely good if I know I'm not really gonna make that much money? If I know that it's a dead end road, as an artist, why spend $5,000-$6,000 to record a song if I feel as though it's a dead end road? Where there's hardly inspiration, there's hardly motivation. I feel as though I wouldn't necessarily make it. And then the sad thing is that people end up forgetting about their talent, forgetting about their craft, and then maybe just settle for, an average job, an 8 to 4, 9 to 5, and they feel as though there's a lack of fulfillment in life, but because I'm not really tapping into my gifting. We now need to start to change that. So Fahrenheit is actually another co-founder of the project. Fahrenheit, for those of you guys that don't know, is also an artist in the Caribbean, right, from Trinidad and Tobago. We have Crypto Mama, who's from Japan. She's part of some mega churches in Japan as well, right? We're excited to even, come together with that community and really do some amazing things. But this is the start of it all. I want you guys to know that the heart of it is really for the community. That's the number one word that you're going to hear whole night: community and unity. It's not competition. You as a musician, you as a producer, you as an artist don't need to think, okay, who am I in competition with? Let me see how I could, this is everyone benefiting. This is everyone working together to achieve one common goal, right? In the chat, we saw some discussions. And the thing is, in life, there will always be people with different opinions, right? But it should never stop the goal of purpose. And as everyone expressed, our goal, our mission is to take the gospel beyond the borders of Trinidad. Your music should be playing beyond the borders of Trinidad, right? Sorry guys, one sec. I'm getting messages while okay, nice, right? So yeah, so now we want to, as I said, sorry guys, I'm just getting a lot of distractions, but I know it's because okay, let me see if I can narrow noise. I'm trying to mute the chat and I'm trying to mute my DMs, right? Okay, should be good now, should be good, right? So we could go into it now. So the gospel music community, now GMG stands for Gospel Music Genesis, right? So you guys would have seen Genesis. Genesis is the name of the community, but really and truly is the gospel music community. And the purpose is to equip and empower artists, empower all creatives in the gospel music space. And the mission is to support and discover upcoming artists and musicians by providing the community with the resources and the platforms, etc. Right? Basically providing the things that we need to get to the next level. Bands like Maverick City could have never gotten there without funding. Right? We can't get anywhere without funding. We could have goals, you could have big goals, big dreams. We must have the capital to get it done. We must have the resources to make quality music. Today I had a discussion with someone that was telling me what they looked for in deciding what music they would play on the radio. That is important information. We got information as to what they look for when they give awards. We got information as to what they look for when you get nominated and people decide to collaborate with you internationally. There's so much to learn, right, in every single aspect of music. And as I go along, know that this is for everyone. It could be a hobbyist, someone aspiring in music professionally, or part of a worship team, wherever you're at. The community is now about providing what is needed for you and your music career, right? So we'll start off with master classes. I'll start here because I think this is huge. I don't know how many of you guys are musicians, and don't worry, I won't be talking for long. Eventually more people will come on and we'll have a discussion and question and answers and stuff, right? I'll just give you guys the basic overview. So I'll start with the master classes. Now, you now have the opportunity to learn from literally the best of the best in music. So I'm not sure what drummers we have on right now. The vice president of master classes of this gospel music community, his name is David Richards, right? And for those of you guys that aren't familiar with David, David actually was one of the OGs in music in Trinidad and Tobago. He mentored a lot of the musicians that we know currently, drummers like Alpha, right? And David is responsible for putting all the master classes together, right? So we have drummers so far like Lana Lewis, who'll be doing master classes, right? So we announced Colin already, who's the drummer for Israel Houghton, right? That's Israel and the New Breed. Also Otis, who is the music director and the drummer at Elevation Worship, right? And some more amazing people will be added to the lineup, but this is powerful because it's not just a master class that you go on YouTube and listen to. These are live master classes, right? So you definitely have the opportunity to engage with these people, interact with these people, right? And it's powerful that we will now have these people as a part of the community here. Understand how powerful that is. Me, especially as a drummer, see the value in that, right? So it's a live master classes with some of the best drummers in the world. For keys, so far we have Rodney East for any of the keyboardists here right now. I know we announced that already. We have people like Kyrie. I'm not sure if you guys know Kyrie, who will be joining the community as well. For bass, we have people like Justin Rains, many musicians, right? And the purpose of the master classes is now to help musicians get to the next level of their music, basically where you're at. Now, master classes are really meant for people that are, let's say, intermediate or at an advanced level. But even for persons that are now starting off, remember, it's community. So within this community already, we have some of the best drummers in Trinidad and Tobago, right? But as well, that will be doing master classes, right? People like Alpha, people like Andre, right? AP, you have even locally, right? Even Curtis Jordan Academy. There are many people, there are many places that right here within the community, you'll be able to start off your career in drumming, for example, right? Or whatever instrument it is. But the master classes is huge. And the thing is, now to get access to these master classes, you will need to be a part of the gospel music community, of course, right? So this here is huge, guys, and this is what we talk about even with networking, right? And really picking the minds of the greats, because Lionel got there by following a certain roadmap. Rodney got there following a certain roadmap, right? Even though the roadmap may be different now, there will still be things that could apply to you personally for your career, right? There'll be master classes on worship leading, right? There'll be master classes on songwriting, on vocals, right? We have our very own Vanessa Briggs doing that, but we even have a lady by the name of Sharon Ann right now who does backup vocals for Adele, and she works with some of the top gospel artists right now like Travis Green and Kiera, etc. Right? So it is a powerful, powerful lineup. And that's why we say the community is about providing development as well, because this, and think about it, you as a hobbyist, this is not going to even give you inspiration personally. You're going to learn so much from these people, right? So master classes is the first one. I'm going to the second one. I'll try to move along. Sorry, guys. The second one. Right. Let me just go back. I got stuck there for a second. Sorry, guys. The mark just moving kind of slow tonight for some reason. I apologize for that. Just bear with me a bit, right? Sorry. All right. So I'll go the DAO, right? So I spoke a lot about funding being essential. Now the DAO is actually, I think, the most powerful part of this entire community, because the DAO is now the funding mechanism for gospel music on a whole, for artists, for creatives and your own personal career, but even for the space, right? Now DAO stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organization. Now remember I said that decentralization is about giving the community the power. So you now get to decide who gets funding for whatever purpose it may be. So the DAO is now the DAO will start off when the community does really kick off the DAO. It will start with between $500,000 to $1.1 million, and that's TTD, right, to start off. But this is powerful because in being a part of the community and being a part of the DAO, you now receive funding for your music career. So let's say you would like to get funding to shoot an album, to shoot a music video, or to record an album, etc. You now approach the DAO, and the DAO basically votes. So there'll be a council leader. Curtis Jordan so far is that will be one of the leaders of the council. But let's say you go to Curtis will now say, okay, I will now go to the community, and the community now decides yes or no if you get funding for whatever it may be. But understand how this even recycles, because let's say someone like we have a lot of events in the Caribbean, right? And people could argue, whether or not the price to attend the event is good or not. But people say that they're willing to only spend $200 TT, not sure what the equivalent is in your country, but $200 TT to attend a concert, a gospel concert. But in the secular world, they're willing to spend $1,500. Now, there's a reason for that, right? So especially we need to give the value to create the demand. So what the DAO does is it will now even fund events. So for example, right, let's say Brandon Best, right, wants to do an Emailer Part 2, but he would like funding for that event. He can now go to the DAO, the community decides yes or no if the community will grant funding for that event. And all the profit is now recycled back into the DAO. That is powerful. Now I know like a worship team, like even at my church, that needs, funding for some equipment in church. Once you're part of the community, you could approach the DAO to get funding for the equipment for the church. There are people that, want funding, want help to record music. That is what this is for. So obviously there would be structure, there would be organized system, and that's where the council of the DAO comes in. But what we want you guys to understand is the power that the community has in being able to have a say in how this is done, right? So we went to the master classes, we went to the DAO. The third one is the hub, right? Let me just give the mark some time to get there. It's sticking a little bit. Right. So good now. So this here is extremely, to me personally, the most exciting thing. So now I spoke about Maverick City and how they started off, with their songwriting camps, etc. We in the Caribbean need a facility for creation. So what we're doing is we're now building a music facility, a hub for creatives and artists. So at this facility, we'll have music studio, songwriting rooms, band rehearsal rooms. Sorry, guys. Sorry, but I just had to add someone. And right. Sorry about that, guys. I get a lot of distractions. Right, my bad. All right. So currently, the music studio for the facility is being designed by architectural designer and Ruel Lynch. For those of you guys that know Ruel is one of the producers that produced for Gates Praise, Mark Isaacs, and a lot of the top musicians in the Caribbean. So the music studio is now being designed, it's now being developed, and there'll be songwriting rooms, band rehearsal rooms, entertainment lounges, etc. But now, once you're part of the community, you now have access to this facility with top of the line equipment. We actually had one in the Caribbean once that was top 5 in the world, I think. Right, and people like Jay-Z and Puff Daddy and all of them used to come to the Caribbean to use that facility, to use that studio. So we're now creating something that's grand, but for gospel music specifically. This is huge. Like at my church, we have something called a FIFA room where after church we play games. And what that does is it keeps a lot of the youth out of trouble, right? Now, understand how something like this is going to be so beneficial for a lot of musicians, a lot of creators, a lot of artists, because there are going to be a lot at this facility where creation is concerned. That's not going to be giving you the opportunity to come, create, network, collab, etc. Right? And actually here I'll say it. So one of the members of the team is Papa San. For those of you guys that know Papa San, he was extremely popular out of Jamaica, right? And he actually expressed the desire to start mentorship for artists and creatives, especially spiritual mentorship, because it definitely is needed, right? And he will come in there a lot, and a lot of even the sessions, will be done at the facility. And we have other artists like, I don't know if you guys know people like Kevin Downs, DJ Nicholas, etc. We have our Jamaican team, ready to go as well. So the thing with this facility is that my hope is that it could be done in Trinidad, right? Because I'm from Trinidad. Me as a musician, I want access. But it would be unfair to build something like this in Trinidad and Tobago if most of the community is in Jamaica or Barbados or Grenada. So this is something that the community will vote on, right? And obviously, it's open to everyone that's a part of the community. So once you are for sure, you have access to it, right? The community will just need to decide, where this will happen, right? But this, even to me, is one of the most exciting things. And especially when it is done, we will be a beacon, right? A lot of people in the secular world will even look at what we are doing, right? Because what we're doing is we're really going to take gospel music to #1 in the Caribbean, we really are, right? And that's why the community needs to come together, because it's up to us, right, on a whole, as to if this, will, reach the heights that it could, right? Like don't look at me and think I'm the boss. I'm not the boss, right? I'm just part of the community. I'm a servant. I'm helping, right? But really and truly, everyone has the same say. Everyone has the same value in terms of input and decision making. So I really want you all to grasp that. That's why I talk about community so much, right? So this is the launch. I did the master classes, the DAO, the facility, and now events. So we're actually going to start some events and stuff in April, right? And May. But really and truly, we're going to have a lot of community events as well, strictly for the community and for the wider population, right? Mega worship experiences, music sheds. I don't know if any of the musicians know about Strange Arrange, but Strange Arrange is basically like bands going up against one another. So let's say there's a song, he did it, one band plays it one way and another band plays it in their own version, and then they're like huge cash prizes, etc. You know, so there'll be a lot of events, a lot of competitions. There'll be a lot where events are concerned for the community. Right, in April, we're actually going to kick off something that you guys are going to see soon for worship leaders, bringing worship leaders from all different parts of the Caribbean, from all different parts of Trinidad, especially too, and Mark Isaacs and stuff, you know, to stream and do spontaneous worship. They actually, we partnered with 98.1, and they will actually even be part of this too. We have a music shed, first one coming up on May 6th with some of the sickest musicians, right? We have a lot of events are concerned as well. And that's why even being plugged into the community is huge, right? So that was the events, DAO, the master classes. Let me go to Virtual Stacks, right? Now, Virtual Stacks, Brian is actually the co-founder of this platform called Virtual Stacks. So they have the likes of Randy Jackson, right? He's America's Idol, Luke Bryan, right? Country singer, you know, of the year, right? And we now have the opportunity to put some of our artists on the Music Stacks platform next to the likes of these names, which doesn't just put you, you know, on a platform next to these names, but it even amplifies gospel music as well. And you guys can even Google what is Virtual Stacks and stuff and see how it does help artists. But on a whole, you see the utility that we added through the master classes, through the DAO, through the facility, to all the community events that we're going to do and competitions and contests. But understand too that within the community, there are people that's going to give value. For example, Vanessa Briggs will give her own value to free vocal coaching for those in the community. Curtis Jordan will add value in terms of, you know, once you're part of the community, you get certain things from the Curtis Jordan Academy, etc. Just to give an example, that right within the community, there'll be so many people that will even be adding value to one another in their own way, right? So this is the overall concept in terms of the utility that the Genesis team is adding to the community. And, you know, for sure, I'll definitely start to take questions soon. And I hope you guys see that all of it in every different aspect is now meant to provide what we need to start to get things to another level, right? In terms of the development, in terms of the funding, in terms of the resources and the platforms, it's things that we always ask for. And now you see that this is the first time, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, where we're seeing everybody literally. Now, I didn't announce to you guys, but we even have other musicians internationally, other producers, right? Actually, there's a guy by the name of Eric Bluetooth. Now, he does work for the likes of Dr. Dre and Kanye West and stuff, that's actually going to be a part of the community, giving master classes to producers, right? We have a lot now. There's a lot that we didn't announce yet because we need to leave room, right, to blow your minds, and then we need to let more people come into the community to really benefit from everything and absorb information first. Now, I don't know who are you guys' favorite Afro artists, but if you guys are familiar with a guy by the name of Limo Blaze, he would actually be part of the community as well. Now, that is huge because you see that right now, you know, we have people in the community, even locally, that we didn't necessarily add as yet, but you will now be able to engage with someone like Limo Blaze. That's just one name, right? Papa San is going to invite all of his friends, right? And his friends, trust me, some of the biggest artists and figures in the entire gospel music space, right? There's a lot more to come. So it's more than even just the master classes. It's more than even just all of this that you're seeing here. It's all of the people that you're now going to be in connection with and in our community with. The master classes is to add. All of you guys that are singers, you're going to get extreme value from all the master classes, worship leading, songwriting, vocals, right? From the DAO. It's going to be fire. The facility, we're excited to get that done, right? And it will be done in phases. From the beginning, the DAO will happen. The DAO will start. The DAO and the master classes and events. In phase 2 is when we will start to build the music facility. And right now we are actually, I don't know if I'll be allowed to say this, but right now we're currently in the process of creating our own gospel music streaming platform. That is huge. And the types of people that we're now having part of the community and the project will accelerate the the success of that platform. And you guys will definitely hear more about that later on. I'm just giving you all the wider scope, the overview of the plan for the project. Now we want to get this started in April. In April, we're starting some contests, some competitions. You guys are going to be able to win stuff. A lot of community building, activities and events and stuff too. We know, like, I admire those guys behind Worship Space. I know a lot of those worship events and stuff. That is great, and we definitely do need more stuff like that, because I look at what we have right now and I think we could provide so much more platforms for artists. And that's why something like this is important for talent discovery, especially because I don't believe Usain Bolt was the fastest person in the world. I just think that's who was discovered. We just didn't discover the person who was faster. So something like this will definitely even help so many more people to come to the light. Right. I actually even met so many people in the chat. Like, we were playing some music before we started, but there's some music I did not know existed. Right. So, and even to our international family, you guys gonna benefit from all the master classes. You guys could benefit from the DAO. You guys could benefit. We are happy, right, to even have connections and have you guys a part of our community. And this is just the beginning, right? We want to 10x this by June, July, so that we can now start this massive movement. And yeah, we're super, super excited. I can start to take questions now, because I know there'll be a lot of questions. Does anyone have a question, or anyone would like to come up? I see Kurin is here too. I know Nisa is here. Who else? Let me see. Does anyone want to ask a question? You can probably raise your hand or mute. Let me make sure I can see it. Poster allowed. Okay, no problem. One sec. All right, you could go ahead. All right, I mean, you cool.
Hey, Darian.
Hey, you good?
Hey, phenomenal presentation, bro. I just want to say, I think we have like 100 people on, and it means we have so much power here online, because we don't have not only talented and gifted people, but we have people filled with the Holy Spirit. And I just really excited about this project. Darian, you're chatting with people in Africa. Africa says, give us the project. They're like, the people in Africa says, they say, build the studio. I mean, we're chatting with Yinka, and I don't know if it's a secret or not. Perhaps it's soon to be wife, or I don't know if it's done.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, let me do drop the news, right? But we were speaking to some of the team in Africa, and they're like, we just love this. Talking to Papa San, he's like, my passion is about spiritual mentorship within the body of Christ for gospel artists. And he was saying that, Afrobeats got space in the Grammys. And he was saying it's time to get gospel soca as its own category in the Grammys. And so everyone here has their own passions. Everyone here has their own vision, their own dream. And so it's really not about competition. It's about, if anybody could come together It should be the body of Christ. And it's about everyone coming together and really creating platforms. I mean, that's our word we're excited about, Darian. Platform systems, infrastructure, because we want to build something that remain, but something that'll help the gospel artists and musicians be more effective with their ministry in making an impact. You know, the Caribbean is small, and the power of music to transform culture, I think, is really amazing. But you know, Darian, even in us chatting with a lot of the artists in Africa, we get a different vibes. You know, there's this sense of, you know, like Sumi, how do you pronounce the name, Darian? I'm mangling the girl's name.
So for you
Say it
guys,
again.
Sumi. So her name is Sunmisola. So we call her Sumi, and Yinka is her fiance.
Yeah, just the passion for worship. And so it's not only, it's about iron sharpening iron, and it's about different communities, Jamaica, Africa, Caribbean, the US. When we come together, I think there's a real unique flavor in that. We sharpen each other and we pick up things from each other, and we become more effective in our ministry. So I want to say to everyone who's listening today, you are important and your contribution is important. And you have a song that I think the world needs to hear. And so we're coming together, we're valuing everyone. We're saying everyone has something to contribute. And if people who don't know God could build a Tower of Babel united, and God said we had to stop these people because them going to cause trouble. What about when the body of Christ comes together, united, and with one vision and one purpose to elevate gospel music? So it's really the culture of the community, all about positivity, all about uplifting each other. And what we are doing as a leadership team, we are really looking at the framework. We are really looking at some of the structure and just even the technology, the Web3 technology that allows people to vote and have a say. So we've sort of tapped into the perfect moment in time, right? Where the technology exists to allow us to be decentralized and allow us to come together like this as a community. And I think we're ready for it. We are ready because we all have our shared different experiences and shared experiences. But I think we're ready to do something great. And so I want to encourage each person who's listening, think big, think, think reaching nations. Think about us going to St. Lucia and evangelizing a nation. So I want to encourage you to think like that. And that's what we are working on. That's sort of the vision. And Darren, I love what you said about the amphitheater. We need that in the Caribbean, you know? We need, and I think gospel music is going to be at the forefront of our next Caribbean revival. You know, revival is sort of a theme now around the world. What came out of Osbury, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right? But revival is a theme. And yeah, there's the revival in our own lives. There's a revival in our music too, and our gifting. But God has promised us that our gift will make a way for us. And so I want to encourage everyone, be a part of the community, invite your friends, tag someone. Let's blow this thing up. Let's see what God could do if we come together united with no vibes, no pride, no I bigger than you, or none of that kind of nonsense. You know, just Jesus, love, and we create opportunities for each other. Wealth creation opportunities. If it's a drummer, you get more gigs. If you own your business, hey, this is a perfect place to be. So it's about coming together and building up each other, not tearing down each other. You know, sometimes, Darian, in the Caribbean, we sort of like to tear down each other, you know, but it's about building up each other, you know, speaking positive about each other. Not everybody will be on the same vibes with us, but we working with each other for better, you know, the way Jesus said. So Darian, awesome stuff, man. I really enjoy. I'm just gonna come off. Listen, that was so powerful listening to you share those things, bro.
Thanks so much. And perfectly said, right? Really can't add anything to that. Perfectly said. I see Stefan Deschong. Let me unmute you, bro. You could ask or comment.
Yeah. Hi, good evening, everybody. I just want to say thank you very, very much for creating this platform, bro. and to all the other creators of it. I think that we are in a very, very special time in its history where we can truly see that the end will come soon and Christ will return because of things like this, where the gospel can go throughout the world. The Bible says that has to happen and then the end shall come. So I'm really excited. I was asking earlier, where would the hub be? Which area in Trinidad would the studio / space be located?
Right. So we're looking at Aranguez or Shogunas.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Yeah.
Nice. That's cool, man.
So thanks a lot, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Anyone? Curtis, you could probably unmute. Thank you, co-host. Onisa. Okay, I see we have Janessa. Let me. Yeah, you're good.
I was just trying to find out about is there like an official registration link or something that we will get access to, or?
Yeah, so when that time comes, we will do that, right? What we really focusing on right now is building the community, right? So like the master classes, that we love to start that like in June, July. But from right now, what we will start is like some events, some events, and those things will be free, and those things will just be open to the community to come. Eventually, probably like June, July is when there will be registration for stuff to tap into, like the master classes, to tap into the DAO, because the DAO is powerful, right? And I really want every single person to benefit from that, right? So when that time comes, there we'll have the registration out, right? Let me see who else. Ruel, Lynch. I think Ruel is Samsung. Yeah, bro.
Hi, are you hearing me clearly?
Yeah, you good.
I just wanted to encourage everyone. This is definitely the way to go for all your friends in the Caribbean, all the rest of the world, from here, Japan, Africa. We really want to do something that would take the world by storm. I think it's something very timely. And if you know anything about the Sons of Issachar and what it talks about in terms of knowing the times and the seasons, I think this is something that is very timely, and it's very important that we all get involved from early. If it is that you pay attention to shifts in anything in terms of technology, those who kind of get on board quickly and kind of make sure that they spearhead the change, you know, you're the person who creates the waves that everyone else tries to ride on. So I just want to make sure that everyone, you know, they pay attention to the things in the group, pay attention to the meetings that we have coming on like this. I know if you're like me, you know, like a few of us probably not 100% well right now because it's a hard dusty area, but do what you can to tell your friends and tell those that you care about the shift in the GMG industry right now. It is definitely the place to be. And I just want to encourage you all to, you know, as a producer, we even have, if I could tell them about Darian, we have some new music coming out to kind of introduce.
I didn't tell them about
Yeah,
that.
to introduce the thing, and you'll hear more about that, Darren. I'll talk more about that in a bit. We have some really interesting things. Would we now be at the time to talk about the open?
Yeah, tell them.
Open verse? Right. So soon you'll hear some of the music. I'll probably preview. I'll probably preview it in the group first before we actually take it out onto the to like YouTube, to Instagram and Facebook. We want to have an open verse challenge. If it will be really good and you're on the edge, we have some new music to kind of introduce, you know, like a rhythm. Everybody know what a rhythm is in the Caribbean, and for those on outside, it's something where, you know, you have one piece of music that various pieces of ideas, lyrical ideas, would end up on the same musical music instrumental beat, right? So yeah, definitely, you all, if you're interested, look for it soon. The music that will be out in the group soon, and we're looking for those who would, you know, put in their own interesting twist.
And the thing with that,
Go ahead, Darian.
And the thing with that too, like you guys now gonna even have the opportunity to record a song with like Nathaniel or Fahrenheit or Mark, Isaac or Nisa. because Fahrenheit and Nathaniel is gonna do a song on that rhythm that Ruel is talking about, and they're gonna launch something, giving someone the opportunity to jump on that track with them. And Mark and Lisa is gonna do the same thing. So that is huge. That is, and Ruel, we want to do something for producers too, but we'll organize, right? But great stuff. Right, thanks a lot, bro. I see Elizabeth. Let me get to Elizabeth.
Hi, good night,
Hi, good night.
everyone. I like what it is that I'm hearing, and I'm happy that this community is being formed. A question, I don't know if you can explain over what is the DAO.
Ouch.
I'm not a artist. I'm a makeup artist, and I'm part of a worship team at our church.
Okay.
And I also, Vanessa has coached me as well, alongside with my sister. I've been in her class numerous times. She's an angel, and she's very, very good at what she does. And I'm happy to be part of this. But being a makeup artist, and I know most of everyone here is like musicians and who play drums, who sing, who may do albums and whatnot and stuff. As a makeup artist, well, what do you think? Oh, what is the question I want to ask? Yeah, like like maybe like we may have some ladies that want to do makeup for their album, or they may have a gig and they need makeup or something like that. You can see it working here, definitely.
Definitely. Remember, it's community. Definitely. Let me ask, you asked 2 questions. Karen, you want to answer the question?
Yes.
She asked about the DAO and the second question.
Well, let me just jump in with the DAO. So the DAO stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organization, but I big words, right? But what it means is everyone gets a say. So think about the DAO like this. We put aside $1 million and the community decides what we're going to use the money for. And so the DAO has the ability to help a young artist start their career. Maybe they want to record their album at Ruel. And so the artist comes in the community, builds a relationship, shares the music. We say we love it. You definitely should record that track. But every time the DAO does something, there must be something being given back to the DAO. So like, let's say your church wants sponsorship to throw a concert and bring in some artists and different things like that. And the concert costs $100 and the DAO is putting forward some money to support it. The DAO will then say, what are you going to give back? So not only will the DAO start with $1 million, but every project GMG does has some contribution back to the DAO. So the DAO will grow and the DAO will end up being a catalyst for development and business within the gospel music industry. And so our hope is the DAO will reach 50 million. It means the DAO is constantly investing in all of the aspects of gospel music. So the DAO is the engine behind the GMG process, and the DAO is managed, if I use that word, right, by all the members of the community. And the DAO has a leadership council that is made up of different artists and people in different segments of gospel music. So I was chatting with David, who's at Gates Praise. I think he might be the lead singer at Gates Praise. And David was saying, I would love to be on the DAO featuring or focused on worship, because my passion is worship. So that sort of gives you an idea.
Yeah.
I hope.
Yeah. Are you there? Who was that? Yeah, I think you answered the question perfectly there. And yes, you know, in being a makeup artist, you know, part of a community, the people that would definitely love that service, right? So for sure, right? And even in being on a worship team, even the master classes itself will be of huge value to you, right? We're gonna do a lot of worship events, as we said. We're coming together. Love to have you there. Right? Yeah. So Elizabeth, I think it is Elizabeth. I hope that answered your question. Thinks I'm seeing someone else. Yeah. Who are we? Yeah.
Hey, good night. Sorry, I didn't realize my name is not showing. So for those, my name is Adria Clunas. I am the Minister of Worship at Bethel World Outreach Ministries in Arima. And I wanted to find out, I was interested about you mentioned the worship experience of spontaneous worship. That has really been, something like that has really been my heart for a while now. So I got excited about that. So I have two questions. One is, how can a church or team that is interested in being a part of that experience do so? And I also had a question about the DAO in terms of how you mentioned a funding of $1 million. Where's the money coming? Where's that $1 million coming from?
Great question. So now I'm sure for most of you guys, for those of you guys that are from Trinidad, right, I'll use an example from here. So you all are familiar with PriceSmart or the Oval, right? So to get access to PriceSmart, you need to have the PriceSmart card. To get access to the Oval, you need to be part of the Oval Club, right? So what we're gonna do later on, probably in like June or July, we're gonna launch our gospel music pass, right? And we're not gonna launch it as a physical pass, it's gonna be a digital pass. So it's gonna be operating on the blockchain, which proves authenticity and has many other benefits, right? But now it's the sales from those passes. It's basically the community funding the project. Because now as I said, we have our projects that we work on. We actually launched a project late December, right? So we could have gone even the venture capitalist way. But as I started off by saying, we want to have the Christian community be the owners of this thing. So it's the sales of the passes, it's what's now funding the project. You understand? If you're still there, you're muted. If not, you can let me know. Not sure if you're trying to unmute or not. But hope I answered the question, right?
Yes, you did. Thanks. Thank you.
And concerning, you had another one you asked about the worship. So when Mark will finalize the first day for the first event, which as it seems right now, it might be April 9th. And all of you guys are part of the community right now. You will see that announced in the community and you could just come, right? And we will arrange it. We want to probably do it every week or every other week, right? So let's say one day it may be worship leaders or worship team from 3 churches, another week from 3 other churches, another week from 3 other churches, right? So we had organized, especially as we confirm the day for the first one, and it's open to all of you guys. So once you're part of the community here, you're straight, you're set, you could be a part of it. And as we said, we have some exciting stuff that we're gonna do where that's concerned with 98.12. Not sure if we have Christian on here, but yeah, right? So just look out for that. I just look out. And actually just now I'll touch on the WhatsApp community and Discord because I think that's something that people have a lot of questions about too. Right?
Okay. Thank you.
Gwenda.
Great evening, everyone.
Hi, Gwenda.
I must say thank you to Vanessa for inviting me to be a part of this. I'm really appreciating as to what I'm hearing thus far. My question, well, I realized that this is all about legacy building, right? Encouraging the Christian community, more so the musicians and the singers and all stakeholders involved. My question, yes, I am, Yvonne. My question to the team, do you all plan to have a youth arm where this is concerned? Yeah, everybody is spot on so far. Yes, do you all intend to have a youth arm with respect to what you all are trying to introduce? And why I'm asking this, I have been in music education for, let's say, this will make it, what, 20 years as an educator, right? And, you know, a lot of us are going to pass on in one way or form. And of course, I am very passionate about my young people, right? Is there going to be, you know, someone or something teaching our young people what it is that you're trying to do here, right? So, you know, there are lots of young folks out there who are desirous of, you know, doing this and starting off early in the game. And being being in education, I have met a lot of young folks who are truly gifted in music, whether it be learning the theory, singing instruments, that sort of thing. A lot of talented young people out there. So how do you plan to incorporate our young persons to ensure that this continues, it stays in continuum?
Wow, great question. And that actually resonates with me personally, because I myself, I'm a youth, right? So I fall into that category. And as you said, this is something for legacy. So especially those in my generation and younger, this is really for the generations to come even more, right? Definitely for the current generation, but even more for the future, right? And there are lots of, now, as I said, we're going to do a lot of events, and a lot of the events will be education and development, right? Even the master classes, sorry, not the master classes, even the like music sheds, for example, for a lot of the musicians. Now, there are currently some of the top musicians like Mighty, who plays drums, or Alpha. I'll even say Samuel. I have Samuel on right now, big up you. So he plays drums for Gates Praise, and I know he's young. And I know like there's a whole worship space team that's a young team that's doing a great job where worship is concerned. But we will now open these events to the youth. So our job will be to now make them aware of this project. And that's where we'll actually like the help of the community, right? We like even the help of you, right? The help of you guys, right? We have the partnership with 98.1, and they have something called Youth in Focus. And we're going to be working with them a lot where Youth in Focus is concerned, to really start to get the youth involved and incorporated into what we're doing here, right? So I think even as we go along, even after today, and you know, as time goes by, there'll be more and more youth coming into the community, and there are many people, as you said, aside from the people that's already a part of the project to do the master classes, even like you, like how you say, you know, you're an educator, there are other teachers in here that will even be able to help as well, you know, where that's concerned. And we said this community, you know, and actually, since you said that, there's an important aspect I did not mention. There will also be master classes on the business side of music. That is huge. Now, Curtis Jordan and the entire team, they do a lot of free conferences. Now, I don't know how many of the artists go, but I remember I plugged in once and I learned so much where the music side is concerned. And people need to understand that you don't have to be the best to be the most successful. A lot of these most successful people, you realize that they aren't the best. For example, Rihanna. Rihanna is not the best singer in the world, right? But there's a lot where the business side is concerned. So as I said earlier, we have Keith Kirk, a part of the community. Keith Kirk was responsible for the music underscore for the both Black Panther movies, and he's doing amazing work in London. And he's now one of the people that will be doing the master classes on the business side of music, right? Along with our Kofong, our CSO Brian, and there'll be many others that will really come in to help you guys understand what you need to know to really be able to get money into your pockets. Because as Curtis rightfully said, money is being shared. It's just where is the money going, right? So we need to now educate even the musicians, even now the artists, and really help, to find gig opportunities. And there's a lot where it's concerned, and that's why, the utility and even the mentorship and stuff is important, and that will come, right? So we will get that in there. Great question, Luenda, and that's where we'll actually like the help of the community, right? But hope I answered the question. All right, is there any other question? Curtis, if you like to come up, no problem, Linda. Curtis, if you're free, I know you had an engagement. So if anyone has any other questions, could you raise your hand? Am I missing something? Okay, Ruel wants to come back. Okay, Curtis, you could unmute anytime you like.
Good evening, everyone. Go ahead, Ruel. Go ahead.
All right. What I wanted to say, Darian, just remember to share the link to both this meeting, and you probably can reshare the link to the WhatsApp group, because chances are not everyone in this meeting is on the group chat and WhatsApp, right? So you all who are here, you can probably take that link and share it to your friends as well, please. Thanks.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, Curtis, you could.
Hi, Darian. Everybody, blessings, everyone tuning from everywhere. It's a real privilege to be here. I feel real good in my heart, to be honest. I've been in the music space, gospel music space, for the past 17 years. And I've seen a lot of things come and go, but I am really, really hopeful of this project. Not only because of the persons that lead it, but the persons within the community that, that chiming in. I think the season is right for us to really make something, make something happen. I've been doing a lot. A matter of fact, all of what I've been doing for the past 10 years in gospel music has been people focused, has been artist focused. Because when I came out, it had nothing like this. It had nothing close, nothing resemble anything like this in terms of our community. And it was difficult. It was hard. I tried to release music, and I really, really, really had to push. And I did, and thank God, by God's grace, I was able to have some success within the space, locally and regionally, internationally. And I vow that my kids and persons who come in after me, and anybody that God raising up after me, should never have to go through what we had to go through in our time and our space. And if any artists within this space, I'm sure Lisa and all of these guys here, they know it has not been easy. Could you imagine now we could use technology? There's over 100 people or even more inside of one chat discussing what we could do together to go forward. That has never happened within Trinidad and Tobago gospel industry as long as I have been here. You know what I mean? So those things are real encouraging. Yeah, it has not been easy. Yeah, I've been real. And as I was mentioning before, I have been doing a lot of work. That's why I even got into understanding music law and understanding the music industry itself, copyright, etc. To go as far as now leading the COT copyright organization. Now I'm the president. God has positioned persons like myself within the community to lead in specific spaces, not just for show, not just to hold a position, but now to really guide his people to be successful within what we do. So when God places persons like Darian and these people in positions to guide, guys, this is things we have to support. It's never happened before. Yes, it's something very new. It's new to me, new to everybody, but God is doing something new. And if you're doing something new, I want to be part of what is happening and what is new. You know what I mean? Because to be honest, it's only going to be a matter of time before the world jump on board and with their own version of their own communities and do their own thing. And then we again, as Christian people, now coming after, now testing the waters to see if it go work. We can't be like that, It's time for us to be ahead of what we're doing. Yeah, Rebecca, it's decades now we try. It has not been easy. But and you don't always have to be the one leading. I see these guys and I'm leading. I already told them I'm pledging my support. I am going ahead. Every country and every island that I go in for the rest of the year, I am going to be talking about this project and how they could be a part, because people see Trinidad and Tobago as the leaders in the Caribbean space. That's the truth. And they look towards Trinidad and Tobago as the, okay, what is next? What are you guys doing? So we now could follow suit. And we have to be the ones now to stand up, be brave, let our voice be heard, and come together. And that's the hardest part. And guys, most importantly, on my last point, I want you guys to remember to pray for this project. This is not just, it's not just music business at all. This is also warfare. So all remember this thing. Remember this community in prayer. The enemy don't like no kind of unity. So guys, yes, we're coming together. Yes, we're having a great time. But when you're on your knees, remember the gospel community of Trinidad and Tobago, and of course, the wider Caribbean and the wider world. That is my 2 cents, guys. I am here and I'm blessing. And anytime you guys need my support, I am already vouched to do that. Yeah. So blessings, guys.
Thanks so much, Curtis. Thanks so much. All right. See, we have Rio. Rio, I'll unmute you so you could ask. Anyone has any question before we wrap up?
Hello, good night, everyone.
Oh, hey. Okay.
Yes, this is actually Ria's husband, Dane, but she's here. Question. I love what I'm hearing. I'm sitting and I'm hearing plans and stuff, and I love what I'm hearing. But my question is, what are your plans in terms of marketing this and bringing this before the world at large? This is good within the community that we have, but I'm like, what's your plans for packaging this and putting this before people that say, well, not normally listen to gospel music?
Okay. So I'll answer you, but Karen, you want to touch on it first?
It's a really great question. I would like to say, one of the things Jesus told us is we should reach Jerusalem, Samaria, Judea, and the uttermost parts of the world. And so, of course, we go first to our people. We've had communities who said to us, do the project with us. Yeah. And to be honest, it was really tempting, because you want to do something that would work and would be successful. Like we got so much interest out of Africa. They said to us, they've never seen a project like this. And they would say, why don't you, let's make this the Africa thing. Because it's, of course, you're talking in the Caribbean compared to Africa. It's so much more people in Africa. But for us, it's going to be a community initiative. And we're growing the project within the Caribbean to start. That's sort of our Jerusalem and Judea. But we're also expanding throughout the world. And so we have a lot of excitement coming out of Africa, a lot of excitement out of Japan, and also a lot of excitement into the US. Now, Papa San, we expect to play a major role in this project. He's doing some launches right now, doing a little project, well, not a little project, a project with Hezekiah Walker. And as soon as he finishes the project, we're going to do something really amazing with him. And to specifically answer your question, the area of excitement for him is really getting Caribbean gospel music as part of the Grammys. And of course, that really goes into the business of music, but it also really goes into that global exposure for music, because once you're a category in the Grammys, you also automatically, you have airplay in certain US radio stations and markets. So I think together as a community, we're going to discover the best answers to that question that you've asked. But we're going to start with Judea and Jerusalem. But definitely the vision is to expand it to the world. And one of the reasons why we're also excited about things like amphitheaters and stuff like that, because we really see gospel music, really putting the gospel back into gospel music, in that, I'm not saying it's been gone, but I'm saying we could be more effective in terms of using gospel music to reach people with such a beautiful message of salvation through Jesus Christ. And so definitely the message is not to preach to the choir. but the goal is to take gospel music, Caribbean flavor, right, to gospel music to the world. And I really think that involves the whole diversity of talent that we find in the Caribbean. Yes, soca music, but also look at Afrobeats. Who would think that Afrobeats would have become such a hit as we see now, And a lot of that really was pioneered by somebody before was talking about the youths, right? A lot of that came out from the young people, right? Out of Africa who got some hits that went global, and then Afrobeats is a category in the Grammys. Just think about that, right? And so that's really been a passion of Papa San, has been one of the OGs in our space. And we're going to do it together as a community. We're going to do it. So my brother, thanks for that question. It's a phenomenal question. It's a question everyone online, I think Curtis would say, is what we've been thinking of. How do we take our music and make it more impactful and reach the globe? And so together we're going to figure it out.
And even more too, like as we said, we even gonna have more artists as a part of the community, and we name them Blaze, for example. So a lot of this stuff that we're gonna do is gonna bring a lot of exposure to the community, and having a community itself with all of these artists internationally and in the Caribbean is gonna, as we go along, it's gonna bring a lot of exposure to our community, right? Hope that kind of answered the question. I saw one in the chat. Let me take Master Casey's question first. Hey bro, you can go ahead.
Yo, good evening all. Not really a question, just like a few cents. Darian, I know we were talking a lot, especially with respect to things that could have taken place within the community, particularly in relations to the DJs within our space. As we all know, DJs, particularly when it comes to Caribbean music, they play a very pivotal role in terms of getting the music out there, and that is something that I'm pretty particular about. So of course hosting events in particular, like the battle that you would have shared with me earlier. I think those things are going to be great, as well as potentially organizing a pool now. So like having a pool that the DJs in the community will pull from, because I know for certain, like, building a library is very hard, takes a lot of time, takes a lot of years. And then of course you have to be able to make sure you have essential things, whether Valley of the Christafari or Dancehall Baptism 1 and 2, all of the Young compilations, things of that nature. So probably creating a foundation where DJs don't necessarily have to go through all of the pain of the discovery and stuff. I mean, there's going to be a little bit of that, but in terms of having the foundation set so that they'll be able to kind of have a springboard so they can start to do their own stuff, I think that is something that would help in terms of advancing the community at large. I mean, it's something that we could talk about even more in terms of the infrastructure, but I think that's something that would help us as well, because it would feed into the ecosystem of DJs and benefit the community at large.
True, and as you know, we have a lot of stuff that we're going to do for DJs. So as we tell everyone, this is just the beginning, right? And we are going to move the community from WhatsApp to Discord. It is needed, right? The WhatsApp will not be able to contain and properly organize everything that's coming. So we will actually ask you guys, the community, when you guys would like us to make that switch to Discord. Right now, the community is at about 430 persons, right, in the past couple of days, which is great. And I'll actually tell you guys that, there are two chats within the community. So there's the announcements, and then there's the Genesis group where all the engagement is. So you would have seen people leave the engagement group, but they're actually still a part of the community and they get all the important announcements. And I think that's important to let you all know, in case you're someone that probably doesn't want to be part of the engagement and stuff, which I do recommend you do definitely engage and network and stuff and build relationships. But we will actually have a vote as to when we will make that switch. If you guys would like to make that switch at 1,000 persons, at 2,000 persons, if you like to make that switch now, we'll cast a vote and you guys let us know, right? I'm seeing a question Does anyone else want to come up? I'm seeing a question in the chat, but I'm not sure if I could answer all. Like reading, right? Like you could probably just come up and ask. So you can raise
Hey,
your
Darian, I definitely want to address a question, a really good question that someone asked. I think it was Rebecca.
Yeah.
And you hearing me?
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, you're good.
Yeah. So, you know, within the space, there are a lot of different people who've been contributing, doing amazing things, right? And they have their vision and they've been working on something for a while. Perhaps it's a dream. And so let's say if it's Curtis building out an amazing academy, or let's say it's Rebecca who's really been a pioneer and really helping the whole industry for quite a while. And so we want to show everyone that our focus is about unity. And so if someone has a phenomenal plan that they're working on and they say, hey, this is what I'm doing, and we look at our plan in an area and that plan that they're doing looks like, whoa, it's going to work, you know, hey, we're going to throw everything your way. We're going to work with, I want to encourage everyone. We have and decentralized technology really allows this, and Web3 technology. We have a sort of a no competition kind of, the space is too big, and what we are called to do is too big. And, you know, I heard one of the, in the early days of Hillsong, I heard their pastor at the time say something that was so powerful. He said he wanted to build a ministry that was going to big enough to be a catalyst for the vision of everyone who was part of his church. That's a really good statement. And I think I want everyone to understand we are building a community. Firstly, we're not so much just building a business, but it's building a community. And within that community, our goal is to serve you. Our goal is not to say, hey, this is our vision and how could you help us with our vision? In fact, when we sat down and spoke with Curtis, one of the first things we said, I don't know if Curtis is still on and he remembers this discussion. We said, Curtis, what are you doing? Where are you carrying the academy? We want to figure out how GMG can fit into what you are doing. Hey, so we want to say family, we in this thing together. We've all tried things in different ways, but we are body. And we know that we have an eye, a foot, a hand, and together we'll accomplish so much more. And so we don't have the mindset of the world. We have the mindset of the kingdom of God. And we want to let you know, no matter where you are within gospel music, there is space for you. And GMG is going to amplify what you do. And when we look back, we would say together, we've accomplished much more than if we were apart.
Yeah. Perfectly said. Right. I saw a question about the cost. So the cost isn't finalized. It will not be a subscription. It will not be something yearly. Right? It will just be a one-time thing, maybe 100 or 150 US dollars. Right, and that's it. So around there. Right. Rebecca, we could connect privately. We could connect on a call, and we could discuss this. Right, definitely. Let me see. Okay, I'll take this last question. Hi, Leah.
Yes, so kingdom greetings to all. Just a question pertaining to bedroom songwriters, because we haven't put up anything as yet. But for persons who are now starting to write, would we be able to, and singers, would we be able to collab with particular artists that we desire? I know you mentioned us collabing with them on their beats and their rhythms and music. However, would we be able to invite them into our spaces and our lyrics?
Could you ask that one more time? I'm so sorry. I thought on my side, it kind of came in and out at the end. I'll meet you again.
Okay, you hear me now? Yeah, okay. So I was asking, as a songwriter, but not a known songwriter, like a bedroom songwriter, for those of us who desire to have particular artists on our lyrics. I know you mentioned us collabing with them on their lyrics and just writing a verse or what have you, but would it be possible for us to engage with them, for them to be on our music?
Definitely, that's community, and that's what the community is about. So that's why we encourage the networking and encourage, the engaging, right? And especially when the facility is built, right? Songwriting rooms and stuff. Yeah, definitely. And the community is open to you. You could connect with whoever you like to connect with. All right. So for sure, there'll be no limitations there. All right. I'm reading Jason. Jason, do you want to come up and ask? Because I'm seeing questions in a list. I'm trying to get all. You could probably raise your hand. All right. Anyone? I'll take one more before I just touch on the last thing before I wrap up. I know it says 9 p.m. Eastern, so we can probably wrap up soon. No one. Candace Keaton.
Good night, everybody. Well, thank you for having this meeting. I would have missed the last couple ones. I have a question about, I guess my question would be about oversight. Is there like I don't know, an organization, a governing body who provides the oversight? I'm big on accountability. Oversight and accountability, because you're now asking the community to spend money towards the community, right? So is it that we're gonna, if we become a part of the community, we're gonna receive reports on, how much money was raised, where the money is being spent, how much was spent on a particular project, how much profit we would have made from a particular project? Is that going to be something that will be happening within the community moving forward?
Definitely. Corinne, you want to come in it? And yes, Candace, that's why. So we have in our council. Let me let Corinne go first. You can go ahead.
Well, it's an awesome question. I really like that question. First of all, there is the spiritual oversight, and I think that's important for us. In fact, when we met, which I thought was really amazing, we found this from a lot of the African artists. When we met Limo Blaze, one of the first things he wanted to know was who's the pastors involved in the project. And so I think that was very interesting. And when we also met with Yinka and Sumi, they both had similar questions, and they were so happy that a lot of the founders were pastors. And so it's the spiritual and the pastoral oversight. But then when it comes to the financial oversight, which more targets your question, one of the reasons why we're using Web3 technology and blockchain technology, it's immutable. And so blockchain gives you sort of a record that is transparent and immutable. And so you're going to find with blockchain, the entire community does not have to depend on traditional Web2 methodologies of a, let's say, auditor's statement, or everything you do in the Web3 space is in the light of day. It's there for everyone to see. And for anyone who's not familiar with like what blockchain is, it's like, you have a book with pages, page 1, page 2. And when you put all the pages together, it tells a story. Well, blockchain is like blocks chained together. And when you put the blocks together, they tell a story of transactions. And so all of the financial transactions of the GMG project that takes place in the blockchain would be visible for all the community to see. And also, we'd be having reports. And so the community will be able to access reports to see how we are progressing with our roadmap. And so there is a roadmap, and you can see how the roadmap is going to be updated 1.0, 2.0, 3.0. And so whereas we kick off the initial roadmap, the community comes together and say, this is what perhaps should be in the next roadmap. Now, where a lot of the financial implications are going to come in the project is the DAO. And what we are doing for the DAO, we're putting together a representative leadership council that includes people like Curtis Jordan. And so the leadership council are going to be the people who will decide what ideas go to the community for funding, and then the community is going to vote on it. And all of that will be trackable, reportable. And so there are many elements of the project, from legal to accounting and stuff. But I want to let everyone who's online know it's a Web3 project. And just quickly, Darren, if I could just do that in 30 seconds. When you think about Web 1, you think about like a newspaper. You just read in a newspaper and it's information. When you think about Web 2, that's where you were reading a newspaper and you shared it with your friend, and your friend began to comment, So Web 2 was all about conversations. But Web 3 is all about ownership and decentralized. And because we're a Web 3 project that's on the blockchain, it is our community that is going to have ownership of the project through the digital passes. And the transactions of the project are not done in secret, but are visible as records, immutable, meaning you can't go back and change it. It's records there for the world to see on the blockchain how we voted, how many people voted, how we casted, who won the vote, what money was allocated to it, how much money was allocated. It's all going to be there on the blockchain. Of course, we'd support it with traditional Web 2 business practices like auditing and reports and stuff like that. But that's the sort of the idea behind it. I don't know if Darren, you wanted to jump in.
I think you answered it perfectly. That's perfectly said. And yes, there will be leadership even in the financial aspect. So that's why we even so far appointed like Curtis Jordan, etc. on the DAO Council, right? And we have someone from every country that's a part of the community on the DAO Council to represent every country, right? Even genres, right? Like there'll be worship strictly, I mean, even worship is not a genre, but understand what I mean, right? So like, reggae, soca, different aspects. So there'll be leadership, yes, to really lead the community in the different aspects. And as Karen said, there's a blockchain that will verify how every single financial aspect of the project was spent. I hope that answered the question, Candice. Okay, yes, it did, right? I saw a question, answer this last one about bookings, right? So a lot of what the community will do will now bring artists to the eyes of more people, right? And now I think 3 or 4 months from now, there'll be even, like right now we have people in the community that aren't necessarily into music. They just love gospel music and they want to be a part of the community to engage with some of their favorite artists. When Papa San and everyone else joins the community and Lemon Blaze and everyone comes in, now it will attract even more fans into the community, right? But we will have a lot of events that will give you guys the opportunity to shine, the opportunity to share your music. We have some exciting stuff with 98.1 where we giving people slots to do interviews or to play music. There's a lot that we're doing, right? A lot of community events, competitions, and yes, events on a whole to really lift everyone in the community, right? And for anyone that's on that probably missed it in terms of like musicians and stuff, we have a lot of music events that you need to be a part of the community for, like the music sheds, stranger reading sessions, a lot of different aspects of the project with the best of the best, right? I actually did not say this earlier, I should have. We actually have Rodney East and Calvin Rogers will actually be coming to do some music clinics and stuff in the Caribbean as well. For those of you guys that don't know Calvin Rogers and Rodney Easton Lake, go look them up. They are amazing at what they do, right, in music, right? So, and all this is about bringing people into our space, really giving us that inspiration and motivation and helping us to really get to that next level personally and on a whole, right? So I think that's probably it for now. Someone asked a question. Says for person that's we have to. Michelle McSween asked, right? So we will announce the system itself, right? And it will definitely be a fair system, right? Because this has no room for favoritism, and that's the power of Web3. With Web3, you're sure that there's no favoritism. With Web3, you're sure that there's nobody cheating the process, right? It's 100% community beneficial, right? So we will announce that, as we get closer to the launch of the DAO. But as we said, for now, we really want you guys' help to spread the word on the community and what's being done. Right now, we're not necessarily focusing on, the past to get access to the community and all of that. For now, we just want to create value, and it starts now. It really does, right? So for now, that's why, we say to share with everyone that that's involved in music, right? And I think of myself and my friends that like play in church and stuff. I know I'm going to benefit so much from my master classes, so much I'm just being able to engage with these people, right? There are so many aspects that will definitely resonate with someone. It doesn't matter where you are right now, right? You could be at a beginner's level, right? You will definitely be able to receive so much value from the community and everything to come. All right. Let me see if I was gonna go to Discord with you guys now. I know it's late, so I don't think should do that now. I could probably do that another time, but I don't want you guys to panic about the WhatsApp community. Remember what I said, right? Because I've told a couple of people because they reached out and asked. You don't have to be a part of the engaging chat, which has like thousands of messages, which is good. I will not staying to end that. You guys keep having fun, right? But there's the announcements channel where people do get the important stuff, right? But we will make that switch from WhatsApp to Discord soon, because Discord creates a proper structure. So there'll be channels for shilling of your music. So you won't need to share your music in like a general chat where it could get lost. There'll be a channel that's strictly for sharing your music, right? And that will be huge, especially later on to come, right? There'll be channels for engaging, and there'll be channels for announcements. There'll be different channels for online contests, or even just to come online and just talk and just vibe with each other, because we'll be having people from all different parts of the world. So in Discord, you'll be able to even video chat with these people. You'll be able to voice call with these people from all over. Discord is really the deal. So we just started in WhatsApp for now, because we need to educate the community on Discord and how it operates, right? But we'll definitely do that soon, right? So that's it for now. There's any last thing anyone would probably want to say? Someone said, I think the sooner we switch to Discord, the better. It's hard to keep up with all the messages in WhatsApp. Yes, it is. So that's why we will post all important details in the announcements group, right? So you won't necessarily miss anything, but we will make the switch. There's a lot more people that's going to join, so just want to make sure we give people time to filter in, especially as a lot of the events take place, right? So that's it for now, guys. And what we were thinking, just to start off for now, we're thinking probably every Tuesday do a session like this, and maybe every Thursday do a community Zoom, where the community just comes on and talks, video, voice, whatever it may be, get along, play some, do some, community activities, stuff like that, right? So we'll set the specific days that it will be done, and every week, right? So it's not something that you have to be on, but if you would like to, you could come on and engage with people, in the community from all over, right? Anything else am I missing? I suggest that if you're someone that the group is too hectic, there's too many messages, you could set one day a week that you will plug into the group to see what you may have missed, right? It will definitely be in the announcements, so don't worry. But I suggest, maybe every Tuesday when we do something like this, so every Tuesday when the community comes on, you just set one day to plug in to see what probably was taking place, right? And just the one thing I'm going to ask you guys, just one thing, right? This is the one thing. share this with everyone you know that's involved in gospel music, right? Let's say for it to advance, as we showed us the community that needs to advance it. I'm sure everyone here knows 3 musicians or 3 artists or 3 creatives within the space, right? Share this so that we can build the community and so we can start to get everything going, right? So that's it for now, guys. It's a pleasure connecting with you all today, connecting with you all soon again. And everybody know we have the WhatsApp chat where we communicate. So we'll definitely keep on engaging and see you guys again soon. All right, so have a great night, guys.